after waking up with a jolt. The girl laid in bed a few seconds longer, reaching over to switch on her bedside lamp. She tried to remember exactly what had stolen her sweet slumber away. When she called on the brunette swing, her legs over the side of the bed and heaved herself up, checking the time on her phone. She snorted when she saw it was midnight with watching her, knowing what sleep would only await her. She left her bedroom for the kitchen, a good cup of coffee her mind. As she passed by her front door, a chill spread like liquid fire down her spine. It's only winter, she told herself, focusing again on the coffee plan. Measuring out scoops of water and preparing her cupcake her occupied. But as the dog liquid boiled, she had nothing left to keep her mind from wandering off. The chill returned, and she couldn't help but glance behind her to the front door. It stood very innocently unouch, just like always. The deadbolt was still in place and she could see nothing amiss with it. Turning back to her coffee, she did her best to forget about the feeling. With her cup in hand, she started back towards her bedroom. As she walked by the front door, it had said what a quick glance out of a peephole would help calm her restless mind. The chill worsened with each step she took towards the door and forced her away from the safety and warmth of her blankets. She pressed her empty hand against the cold metal door and took a deep breath before leading her ear to the peephole. At first, she could only see an inky blackness and somehow seemed to swirl in itself. When she blinked in surprise, the void melted away. She wished it hadn't. In its place, where stood what she called only Quest was once a man. The limbs were long and inhumanly awkward, with bulky joints branching off into several arms. Not unlike the branches of a tree, the creature was dragging in a black side, somehow making the thing more nightmarish to hear. The icing on the proverbial cake. However, was that bastard, as the hellish thing's face. It was a touch her mind blurred the ghastly visage to spare itself for her snug and horror. She shoved herself away from the door with the hand still pressed against it. The scalding mug of coffee filled the liquid burning her bare legs. The liquid burning her bare legs as she fell backwards and tried to crawl away from the door. She knew somehow what her mind hadn't been playing tricks on her. As she walked away from the door, she watched as tendrils as black as the void. She first saw snaky around throat the cracks. The girl was trapped between the instinctive and the gut feeling. Do not turn her back on the door. When the door jolted, we argued to flee, overcome her, and she slipped in the burning liquid as she tried to make it back to her room. She knew deep down what she was trapping herself in a corner, but she had to get away from the door. The girl was halfway down the hallway when she heard the previously locked door creak open. She screamed and slipped into a well, cracking her chin on it and stunning her. Afterward, where it was only blackness. Nicole? A warm male voice snapped the woman out of a trance. As she turned around, she was met by one of her sister's doctors. She nodded, not sure if she should say anything, or even if she could find her voice if she did have something to say. That morning, she had gotten an urgent phone call from this hospital, saying with her sister. Lindsay was wary, before we had even let her see her. The doctors had pulled her off to the side and insisted what we talk to her about what might have happened. Phrases like self-inflicted and assault had been thrown around, and Nicole left him unreal. She still hadn't fully understood what we had been. Saying until she saw Lindsay with her own eyes. Her little sister had a bandage wrapped around her head, covering both of her ears, as well as her ears. We said it was to keep her now dead in the eyes from drying out and to try to keep infection out of the wounds. Lindsay had made to her ears. Where doctors had greased wet at her, she or someone else had jammed a pencil into them to keep her off balance or to defend herself against something. Where was the mix of first and second degree burns on her hands, legs and feet, from what was a summit to be coffee, and neckboards found slipped all over the entry to her. To be coffee here, neckboards found slipped all over the entry to her apartment. As Nicole walked into her sister's hospital room the first time, she thought she had spied with silhouette of a man in the window. What she knew was impossible. Her sister's room was only tried story of the hospital.